All right. Welcome back, everybody. I know you've all been missing us. It's been a few weeks since we got to talk for you. Yeah, we're aggressively wrong. Get used to seeing me in drama. We're going to try this format out for a little bit. We still got Todd doing some stuff behind the scenes, and we definitely want to thank Jesse for his contributions for the first few episodes for sure. A lot of stuff going on in life, so who's to say you won't be back at some point? But yeah, we're gonna try some newer stuff. We're gonna do a little bit more structured format, and we're gonna try out some new things, trying to get a little bit more interaction from you guys, from the viewers, the listeners. So yeah, this will be the first foray into this new kind of setup that we're going for. So, Drama, you want to give us a little rundown on what we're planning on doing?
So we're gonna have a couple of segments here. We're gonna do sports because we love sports. We're gonna talk sports. And we're gonna talk some movie stuff too because I love movies. He loves movies. Todd loves movies. And then we're gonna do a pop culture segments at the end and just talk about what's going on in the world. What's going on in the world today?
We're hoping that it will make it a little less busy, less cluttered. That was most of the feedback that I got from people, was that, when all of us got going, it was a lot, four people all talking at the same time. It's a lot to handle. And just by looking at the numbers of what we were seeing a lot of viewers for the first 15, 20 minutes of episodes, and then you'd see them kind of fall off a little bit. So
not anymore.
We're thinking if we split it up and get it a little bit more structured, everybody will stick around to the end. You guys can listen to the whole episode, watch the whole episode. So I think we're going to start off. What do we say? We're going to talk about
sports. What's going on in the sporting world?
NBA specifically is what we've been talking about a little bit before we started recording. And I've actually got the Timberwolves and Grizzlies up on the screen right now.
Yeah, I just saw that. I saw the Timberwolves were up by 20 a minute ago.
Yeah, they're laying them out right now, which I did not see coming. I was pretty high on the Ja Morant train here for a little while. Man, I want that guy to do well. He's so entertaining. He seems like a good kid. It's weird too. Literally just now they were showing his dad. Like I was saying, they've shown his dad on the screen, and I'm relatively certain I'm older than Ja Morant's dad, judging by how he looks.
I am.
So that's I don't often get to refer to NBA players as good kids, but I'm watching Ja Morant, who's 21, I think, and Anthony Edwards is 20. I'm definitely old enough to be their dad, so it's a little bit wild. But yeah, that's good young players right now too. That's one thing. I know you are not a big LeBron guy.
That is an understatement.
It's nice seeing players that are younger and not seeing, LeBron and
Kevin Durant just. That's what I said at the beginning of the season when they made that silly trade and they went and got Russ. I say this all the time with my Cowboys too. So why are you guys getting older? Why? Go get younger and faster. That's what especially in basketball. Are you kidding me? Younger, right. And fast. You need to be younger. That's my biggest beef with LeBron. I think he's definitely. You can't put him outside of the top 3. You can't. If you do, you're just a hater. I don't like him, but I see talent, and I know he's gifted.
Yeah, you got to respect his ability, but
you got to respect the ability. But
he's a lot different player than
teams that he's with. He depletes them. They got no draft picks after he's gone. Look at Cleveland when he left the first time, bombed out and just decimated.
Yeah, well, look at what they had though. Look at what Cleveland had when he got there, though. Also, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's not like they weren't lighting the place up, and then he came in. Now Miami, on the other hand, Miami had a pretty decent squad. back in the Dwayne Wade, Shaquille O'Neal. Obviously, they won a championship.
They won a ship, yeah.
And then Shaq left. And
well, Shaq was done after that last championship in Cleveland. He was done.
Didn't he have like
in Shaq?
Didn't he have like not good by Shaq standards, but he had a couple productive, like in Phoenix and then a year in Boston that he obviously not. He wasn't Shaq, but he was still a productive backup big man.
I'm a big cactus.
Right.
No,
I love Shaquille O'Neal. Yeah,
I like Shaq too, but that's my thing with LeBron not being in the playoffs. I know why. It's because their team is old, and they had no youth that was bringing any kind of like LeBron. Right. Putting up 30 a game? You can't have LeBron.
At 38 years old,
7-year-old LeBron can't be your best scorer. No. You know what I mean? He can't be the best part of it. And AD shit in the bed. I don't know. I'm glad they're not in it. I got a text message, a notification. Then at like 1:00 in the morning, I was like laying in bed and my phone went off. I looked at my phone and it was like the Lakers have been eliminated. And I was like, and I fell right to sleep and had great dreams. It was amazing. It was just satisfying.
That's a level of petty that I love sometimes. I love it when I agree, and so like I've always defended LeBron as a person. Like I hate it when people are like, "Oh, he's a terrible person." I'm like, he's not. And you kind of came at me a little bit the one day when I was talking about his foundation and what he does for Boys and Girls Club and stuff like that. And people, well, it's still a public school. It's paid for by the taxpayers. It's like, yeah, but he also makes huge contributions to that school every single year. So I've always been the defender of LeBron, but as far as an NBA player, I have respected his ability and hated him the whole time he was in the NBA because he was a piston killer. I mean, shoot, he scored 23, the last 17 points of the one game and 23 out of the last 28 or something like that to just single-handedly wipe the Pistons out of the playoffs the one year. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just happy to have playoffs. Like you said, I wasn't quite at that level where I got the text notification and was like, okay, I'm going to sleep like a baby tonight.
Well, it was just a notification from SportsCenter or something like that. It was like ESPN didn't it? And I like looked at my phone. I was like, oh, that's
Lakers officially eliminated.
It wasn't like I set up a notification like, yeah, as soon as they're out of the playoffs, tell me. I want to know.
I want to know right away.
It wasn't that. It was just like it was a notification on the phone.
Right. Yeah, so when I saw that they were eliminated, my first thought, I mean, I wasn't necessarily like stoked that they were out, but at the same time I was like, it'll be nice to have an entire NBA playoffs where we don't have to worry about LeBron's legacy being the focal point of every game, because that's been really annoying the last couple seasons. I mean, obviously when they won it a couple years ago, it was warranted.
Right.
I get why they did it then, because it was like, oh, he came to LA and he did what he came to LA to do. I understand that. But ESPN is always so LeBron centric that I was looking forward to a playoffs where the only time they mentioned him was to mention the fact that he wasn't in it.
Right. I see. And like for me, being like, I grew up a Seattle Supersonics fan. So I don't even have a squad. Like when they left and went to Oklahoma City, I was like, oh, okay, I'll be an Oklahoma City fan. But then it was like, wait, they're not even wearing the same colors. Like it's not the same team. Yeah. So I became more of, I just like basketball. So whoever beats LeBron is who I'm, cheering for. I cheered for Golden State. Me and Todd watched Golden State games together 4 years ago. I'm cheering for them because I wanted to see them beat Cleveland, because they're just whoever was head to head with him was who I was rooting for, because like it didn't matter, like I don't know, like it's just especially because I lost my team. Like I hear.
So ironically, I became a Thunder fan for a little while at the same time, right as they left Seattle, because it was around that time the Pistons traded Chauncey Billups to Denver for Allen Iverson. And I was not pleased with that trade. And I liked James Harden when he was in college at ASU. And I like the way Kevin Durant played. You know, he's entertaining as hell to watch. So I jumped on that wagon, and then as soon as Harden left, I mean, you can go back and look at my Facebook post. I was salty
Right.
when the Thunder traded Harden, and then I became a Rockets fan, got myself some James Harden Rocket gear, and then now he's just a merc. He just goes
Who do
wherever
you
he can
think
go
is going to
put
win
up.
the championship?
Honestly, it sounds weird after I just said all that stuff about James Harden, but I do think the Sixers are going to win it.
The Sixers?
Yeah, I think the way Joel Embiid's playing, whew, like that's all it takes is for Embiid and Harden. As long as both of them don't have multiple bad nights in a series, they can win any series.
Okay, I can see that.
And Maxey too. Geez, Maxey's been playing his ass off too. Who do you think?
Bro, Jordan Poole is an animal. Like I
go.
watch the Warriors. If they KO the Nuggets and they don't even get one win,
Man, that'd be wild, wouldn't it?
I'm going Golden State. Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. And it's possible.
It is. I think Jokic, as much as I like Nikola Jokic, there's nothing to dislike about him, to be honest. I mean, he's
right.
Likable dude. He's like a big, goofy looking guy, and he's got this crazy skill set that you don't expect from somebody that looks like him.
Right.
And that's like always one of my favorite things in the NBA too. When somebody just does things that they don't look like they should be able to do, I just love that anyway. Ja Morant's a prime example. The dude is crazy athletic, does things that you wouldn't expect from somebody that's like 6'2". It's weird. But
right.
I think that the Nuggets are super disappointing because right now because they've been so Jokic focused. That's all they really have. If he has a bad game, they're not going to win. You know what I mean? Right. That's just the way it goes with them.
Right.
And the Warriors are tough. I don't want to take anything away from the Warriors, but Jokic is choked. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but he has not looked good.
Yeah, he hasn't played well for sure.
And I like the Warriors, like you were saying. I rooted for them quite a bit in a few of those finals. I thought it was kind of lame when KD went and won a title over there, but it is what it is. I mean, that's the NBA of today. But I've always been a big Klay Thompson fan. I like Klay Thompson a lot.
Yeah, I like Klay Thompson a lot too. I don't know. I didn't feel like it was KD creating a super team as much as it was KD joining an already super team.
Yeah.
Because the team that the season before had just beat Cleveland.
Yeah, knocked him out. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they knocked KD out of the playoffs the season before. And then he was like, you know what?
Western Conference Finals, right?
Yeah, and he was in the if you can't beat them, join them
that went and won a championship. And then it's like, well, I'm a free agent. Where am I going to go? It's like the best team available. Like it was almost like because the way Golden State built that team was through drafting and proper trades. There was no they built a super team. They built a super team through
KD.
Talent.
They already had a great team, and then KD joined them. It wasn't like that he was
right. They had a championship caliber team, and then he was like, "Well, I'm going to jump on that."
Yeah, he wasn't calling.
Kind of like it looks bad on KD, but not bad on Golden State. Is what I'm saying. You know?
Agreed fully.
State,
that's what I'm saying.
Well, we're not going to not take KD.
Yeah, if you're already the best team in the league, and you have the opportunity to add somebody who's a top 3 player,
the best scorer in the league, other than maybe Harden.
Of course you do it. I don't know why you wouldn't. So
yeah, of course.
Yeah, and that's what I guess I wasn't saying it was lame of the Warriors when that happened.
Right, but that's what I think people get mixed up, though. I think people say that, and then it's like, wait, it's not the Warriors that did anything. It's KD.
Yeah, you can't fault the Warriors.
That looks like shit.
That would be like being mad at the Heat as an organization for LeBron and Bosh and D Wade getting all together. But what are you going to be mad at Pat Riley for that? He's not the one that was like, hey, guys, let's
stars are going to come here and win me a ship. Okay.
Yeah, I think I'll go ahead and I'll sit back and count my money if I'm Pat Riley at that moment.
Yeah, easily. Yeah.
This I don't know. It's hard to look past Phoenix too, though.
That's what I said. There was a crazy stat I saw. They have a better away record than any other team has a home record in the NBA? Is that like that's a real stat? I was like, holy shit, that's crazy.
Well, what'd they win? Four more games than the next best team this year, or 5 more games? I mean, it was like they had the best record by a lot for NBA. I mean, what'd they win? 65 games, 64
65 games.
Yeah, that's a ton. I mean, that's not up there with like the 96 Bulls or that crazy ass Warriors team.
Right.
But that's still a ton of games to win, especially when you're talking about a couple of, like, Chris Paul is my age, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's in his 30s for sure.
Yeah, he's in his late 30s. He's older than LeBron, I'm pretty sure. And LeBron's only like a year younger than me. So I'm pretty sure Chris Paul's right there with me. He's still doing what he's doing. Devin Booker's outrageous. Man, when that guy gets hot, he is something totally different.
Yeah, they're a good team for sure. But I think, like I said, the reason I'm taking Golden State is, like, if you come off of you KO the Joker in the first round, you're going to be hot coming into that next round. And I don't even think they'll play the Suns in the next round. I think they'll play the winner of Dallas and.
I haven't looked at the bracket, to be honest.
Or maybe it's the winner of Memphis and Minnesota. I don't know.
That sounds more right.
Yeah.
And by the way, Minnesota's now up 21.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm looking at it right
now. The Mavs and the Jazz just got started. I like that Jazz squad too, kind of. Like, I like Donovan Mitchell.
I like Donovan Mitchell. I like his game. Yeah.
You don't like Rudy Gobert?
Defensively, the dude's a beast, but he's like Dennis Rodman.
Oh my goodness, he is. He's just stretched out Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, he just can't.
That's literally all he is. It's like somebody just stacked 7 more inches on top of Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, he's good defensive though.
He can catch alley oops. I mean, he's got that. That's his one. That's his one thing that he's better than Dennis Rodman was.
Right. Yeah. But he's also like 7 inches, like you said, 7 inches taller.
Yeah, he's tall as shit. I mean, he's long too. I mean, obviously, it sounds ridiculous to say that a 7'2" guy is long. Of course, he is. But I think he's got one of those crazy wingspans, like, like the 6'7" guards that have like the 7'1" wingspan and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure Gobert's is like 7'8". I mean, it's crazy.
Right.
He is very, very lengthy. That's kind of the way the NBA has gone lately. Is the big men are more athletically skilled, and then you got Rudy Gobert. You know what I mean? Like, he's the opposite of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looks like. All right. Todd's got some info.
Golden State, and I like Milwaukee for some reason. I think that's going to be the finals. Golden State, Milwaukee.
Well, you like Milwaukee for some reason?
Well,
you like the defending champs for some reason? Didn't they win it last year?
I don't think they're as good as they were last year. I don't think they are.
I think Giannis is borderline unfair when he's on.
Yeah, he's really good.
Well, I remember seeing the one clip where now there's a bunch of like TikToks and stuff that you see of him traveling, like blatantly traveling. It doesn't get called. But I saw one that was totally clean where he took like 4 steps. I mean, he got the ball at the opposite end 3-point line, took 4 steps and was dribbling the whole time and finished with a huge dunk. And I was just like, how do you even like?
I've seen Russell Wilson do the entire length of the court in 6 dribbles. I was like, that's impressive. Like, and finishing a dunk. Like, that's athletic. Like Russell Wilson, or not Russell Wilson.
Westbrook.
Westbrook, for all of his
he's a bonehead. He's a bonehead, but he's a freak of an athlete. I mean,
he's
crazy.
He's a special guy in the air. Like, dude is nasty.
When he had his season where he averaged a triple-double, I remember watching highlights that season. I mean, like I said, I was like a reformed Thunder fan at that point and had already moved on, but I was still, I was rooting for Russ, and I really loved watching him play because of the triple-double stuff. When they
triple-double stuff was cool.
It's incredible. I mean, it's such a weird, crazy story. Yeah. But you'd watch highlights of him, that was when his mid-range jumper was still okay before apparently he got a mental block that stopped him from hitting those. But he'd be going full speed, and all of a sudden he'd leave the floor, and you'd be like, oh, he's dunking it. Like you'd think he was about to, lay it in. No, he's dunking from like a foot inside the free throw line.
Right.
And he's 6'3", and he's doing it at full blast. I mean, the dude never slowed down that whole season. It just felt like he was always on the turbo button.
All right, before we switch over to movies, I got a question for you. What position do you think will be the first taken in the draft? Who's the number one draft pick? What position do you think they're going to play?
Whatever position homeboy from Duke plays, that's the guy that's going to be drafted number one.
Who?
I can't even think of his name now. College season's over now. I can't think of it. Tell me his name, Todd. It's a Latino name.
The offensive lineman?
Oh, you talking about the NFL draft? I thought you were talking about NBA.
Draft. No. The NFL draft.
I thought we were still talking NBA. No. Duke's not going to have a first pick in the NFL.
That's what I was like. Who are you talking about? No. He's got to be an offensive lineman.
That's Todd just said the same thing. He thought you were talking NBA. So in the NFL draft, I think the first pick's going to be an edge rusher.
Do you? I think it's O-line.
Which one? Evan Neal?
Yeah. If I get the pick, it's Evan Neal.
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Before the Lions do something dumb.
That was my other question.
That would leave Aiden Hutchinson for Detroit, and that's who
I
want.
Why would you want that guy? Why?
Because
Todd doesn't want him.
Who does Todd want? Thibodeau?
I would rather have him than the other people they're bringing up. If you take a safety with the second pick,
that's crazy.
Malik Willis, I will lose my mind.
Yeah,
I will riot and burn Detroit to the ground.
As much as I love Kyle Hamilton, being a big Notre Dame fan, I'd love Kyle Hamilton at the 32nd pick. I do not love him at the second. I've seen a couple things where they were talking about trading that 32nd pick and our early second round pick to move to like 13th or 14th. And when I saw that, I was like,
that'd be a sweet move.
It'd be great. But then you're still in that kind of no man's land where none of those picks make sense. And unless my boy that we've talked about a couple of times, if Nakobe Dean drops down to where we can get him in the middle of the first round, then I would love that. I would be stoked to take Nakobe Dean with number 2, to be totally honest. But you're not going to, and that's a reach. But
that's a reach.
In comparison to a lot of the other names, I'd rather have Dean than Willis. If we draft
Dean than Hutchinson,
no.
How do you feel about Sauce Gardner?
Oh, every time I see that, I'm like, why? What are we doing? Like, we just wasted a number 3 pick on Jeff Okudah a couple of years back. How's that working out for us? Working out well, right?
I don't know. I'm going to be pissed off if the Cowboys take anything but an offensive lineman in the first round. They can, if they want to go move up. All right, cool. Move up to get a better offensive lineman. Because if we're going to have sorry ass Dak Prescott back there throwing the ball, we need to give that dude some time, like all day. So we gotta get that guy another offensive lineman, bro.
It's so funny to me how much you hate Dak. Like, I get it. I definitely get it. But at the same time, like, sometimes he looks like a perennial Pro Bowler.
He is
the Lions. The Lions had a very similar situation where Matthew Stafford would have flashes of looking like a top 10 all-time quarterback, and we'd be like, oh, we can't win because the rest of our team's garbage. Whereas Dak does it like how many Pro Bowls has Dak made?
A few.
Hold on.
A few.
Todd's coming in.
Stafford had no one around him besides Calvin. That's it.
I agree.
Dak has had all pro players in all positions on offense and defense
Jason
and
Witten.
does nothing.
I agree. And that's why I said I said a similar situation, not an exact the same situation.
Oh, I was like,
we had a quarterback that looked like a Hall of Famer and might now be a Hall of Famer with a Super Bowl ring. But we had a quarterback that looked like a Hall of Famer and didn't get his due and never really had a team that was complete around him. You guys have a guy that has played in multiple Pro Bowls and gets MVP talk, like,
do you know why?
At least part of every season.
I can tell you
because
why.
he's playing in Dallas, because he's got that star on his helmet. That's a big part of it.
That has something to do with it, but listen, and I watch every game. This is what happens, and this is why, like, I got a friend of mine, Rich. Shout out to Rich. He's a big Dak guy. He's like, we're gonna win 15 games this year. Blah blah blah. He's one of those Dallas Cowboys fans. I'm the other end of it. I'm like, we're gonna win 4.
Yeah, you're the defeatist.
But he says, he goes, what's your problem with Dak? And I said, listen, we play from behind because of that man so much that his stats are so inflated because we have to throw the ball the entire second half because we're down 2 touchdowns because he had 2 fumbles that turned into 14 points for the other team in the first half. Like, my biggest issue with Dak Prescott is when he's in the pocket, he sits back there and pats the ball and tries to make something happen with his arm instead of using his legs. The boy's, he's got some legs, man. Dude can move. And
he's pretty stout, really. I mean, he's not a frail little dude.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I'm just like, dude, take off. Fucking go.
You want him to play more of a Russell Wilson game.
I want him to make a first read, second read, and then bounce. Because look, if you watch the first season when he took over Tony's job, they didn't let him throw the ball 40. They hand the ball off to Zeke a million times. They let him make one read. Watch the whole first season he played. He got to make one read, a second to the check down, to Zeke, and if it wasn't there, 7 yards forward every time. What? So I'll go back and watch.
You just mentioned the reason that I don't really like Dak Prescott. And that reason is Ezekiel Elliott. Because I don't understand, for a team that's built to run the ball, which the Cowboys have been.
Yeah.
I mean, you got multiple Pro Bowlers, a couple all-pro offensive linemen, and Ezekiel Elliott, who, for all of his bullshit, is a very good NFL running back.
He's pretty good.
And Jason Garrett. Not now. And like 3 years ago, I would have. 4 years ago, I would have.
4 years ago. His first 2 seasons, top 5.
So Jason Garrett just underutilized him.
Jason Garrett, those were the only years he was good. That was the only years that Zeke was any good. Was his first 2 years.
And I would say that still, even looking at that, I still think Garrett used him wrong.
I don't think so. They ran that first season. Look, and I say this all the time. Tony Romo was the quarterback. That first season, Dak was a quarterback. We win a championship that year. Tony was a different animal. And like, if they would have let him have his job back, I think we win the ship. Because I think we beat Green Bay. And if we beat Green Bay, I know we go to the Super Bowl. And then we got a chance. That was the year that Aaron Rodgers, made that comeback throw. Tony doesn't let that game get out of hand like Dak did.
Was that the same year that the Lions got screwed on a pass interference against y'all?
No, but me and Todd were watching that game together, and he was not happy. Like, I had to leave the room because I couldn't believe it happened. I was like,
I had to leave the room.
And I left the room.
I was at work. I was at work, and I had to leave the room. Welcome, Todd.
Caleb, let John tell you what he said at halftime when we were kicking their ass.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh, you guys are definitely gonna win, bro."
And like, what did I say? What did I say?
He was like,
so John jinxed it, is what happened. I
looked at him and I said, "I've been watching the Lions my whole life. Unless that clock says fourth quarter with 4 zeros,
I don't count it yet.
I don't count it, dude. That pass interference call. Oh my god!
When they called it and then picked it up,
I was like, it was definitely pass interference, like for sure.
Oh yeah. Well, and then
that was the season, I think.
So the following year was the year that Rodgers threw the Hail Mary against us, and they called the face mask on Ziggy Ansah, and then every replay that I saw, his hand goes past his face and hits him on his right shoulder, and then he chucks the ball. It's like, how are you gonna? Yeah. Stupid. Yeah, that was a couple years that the Lions really, like, I don't like to be the guy that's like, oh, it's Detroit versus everybody. But man, those 2 seasons, it did feel like the NFL just did not want the Lions to succeed whatsoever.
And on that note, we'll switch gears to film.
All right. What do we?
Because you're definitely right. It seems like the NFL does not want Detroit to win it.
What are we?
Oh, so I was looking at some upcoming films, and I was wondering if you're excited about any of them. And like so in 2022, we've got some pretty big movies coming out pretty soon.
Yep.
None of them which I would call films. They're all movies.
Right. We got a lot of Marvel movies and
a lot of
like
Marvel stuff coming up. So the like if you look at IMDb's upcoming 2022, number 1 on the list is the next Black Panther movie, Wakanda Forever. Have they even released a trailer for it yet?
I haven't seen a trailer. I don't think it's been released.
A trailer for it either. I don't even know the synopsis, and I don't know enough about comics to talk about what they could be doing with the movie, because like I'm of the camp where I thought Black Panther was a little bit overrated. Like I thought they buried the best actor in that movie by giving him just lines and he screamed the whole time. Like I felt like
you talking about Michael B. Jordan?
Yeah, Michael B. Jordan is amazing. I love Michael B. Jordan. Like I'm
strong.
old school Michael B. Jordan. Like I liked him on The Wire type shit.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
And
I'm assuming you've seen Fruitvale Station too, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god,
amazing.
Great. Yeah, great.
So I was like, why are they burying this guy behind, making him scream all of his lines and stuff? Like I get he's supposed to be upset, but I don't know. Like it just didn't make any sense. And then like the whole hype behind it, like everybody hyped it like it was the greatest Marvel movie that ever came out. And I was like, this is it's not the worst, but it definitely wasn't the best.
I would say it's above average. It's in the top third of Marvel movies for me, I would say.
I mean, if you put it in the bottom of the top third, I could see that. Because I like
I mean, if we're looking at Marvel movies, just the MCU is what, 31 films or something, or 31 movies?
I can't put it in the top 10. I can put it by it's the Dak Prescott of Marvel movies. I'll put it anywhere from 10, 11 to 19.
Depending on the day and what mood you're in.
Depending on the day, depending on what it's up against and how I'm feeling.
So
that's where I put that movie.
So I liked it when I first saw it. I mean, I was excited for it. I was very excited for it. I like Chadwick Boseman a lot too.
Chadwick Boseman,
what I mean?
Yeah, I like him too.
I love Chadwick Boseman, and even like Daniel Kaluuya, the dude from Get Out, that's in it.
Yeah.
It's kind of a smaller role.
Yep.
Winston Duke, also real strong.
Right.
Like I like the whole cast, and I agree with you that they used Michael B. Jordan incorrectly.
Right.
Like you got to showcase him.
Yeah.
And
he was just mad the whole time. And it's like,
and I get that you also
have more depth than that. Like,
well, and they started off like they were going to, you know what I mean? Like showing him at the museum and like making it clear that he's educated and stuff like that. And then
they never go into that stuff.
Yeah, it goes straight to shit. And all of a sudden he's just an angry ex-military giant dude, like ripped dude. But yeah, as far as the new one, all the different rumors that I've heard have me very worried about Wakanda Forever.
Oh yeah,
like the rumors that the new Black Panther is going to be his sister.
See, I don't know shit about comics, man. That's why the whole Marvel movie thing messes with me, because I don't know I don't read comic books, man.
Right.
I watch movies, so that's why
Well, the Black Panther storyline, I mean, it's pretty clear even just from watching the movie. You know, the Black Panther mantle is handed down, and you earn it by, you know, winning in combat and all that. They make obviously a huge deal about that in the movie. But with Chadwick Boseman dying, it's very hard to think of a way to move that story along without T'Challa, and it's. You know, people keep talking about it's going to be his sister takes over, or there's going to be
the sister takes over in the comics. I've heard that. Is she Black Panther, or is she a different name?
No, she's the new Black Panther.
So it's just she's Black Panther now.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Well, then that makes sense.
But I still don't.
Thought it was like a different character.
No,
like a different name.
Before T'Challa was Black Panther, his dad
T'Chaka was the Black Panther before
that. It's handed down to the next person who is deemed worthy, kind of.
Worthy.
Yeah.
That can eat the flower, right? Because like that's how he got his power and shit.
Yeah.
Eat the flower.
Yes.
Okay.
But so if that's the route they're going to take, my issue with this is there's no way they would have taken that route if Chadwick Boseman was alive.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? So it feels like a shortcut money grab to continue and do it that way. You know what I mean?
I feel like in the other movies they were pushing that character though too.
Oh yeah, it's not like they just pulled her out of thin air. Like they've already built her up.
She's got a lot to do in not in game.
Infinity War.
Infinity War. She was doing a lot because she was like messing with.
She was trying to
get the stone out of
the stone.
Vision's
out of Vision's head.
Yeah. So I mean I get it.
And she was also present for the girl power moment, I believe.
We should just stop mentioning that like it never happened.
No, I figure if we go every episode with we mention either the girl power moment in Endgame or Guillermo del Toro. As long as we mention one or the other, we're good.
Yeah, that's good.
So other movies that I'm
stoked on.
Well, some that I'm stoked on and some that I'm skeptical about because, like, I'm super stoked for the Thor movie. I haven't
watched the trailer yet. I'm scared. Todd watched it the other day. He said he thinks it's going to be good. I'm scared.
I watched it. I think it's going to be good too. It could be bad. Of course, all these movies have the potential to just suck. I mean, it's
right.
It will happen. You know what I mean? We'll have movies that suck out of pretty much every group of movies.
Right.
We saw a preview. I don't remember what it was we went to see, but we saw a preview for Lightyear, the Buzz Lightyear movie.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
I don't think that's going to be good.
Really?
I just don't. And I love the Toy Story movies. I just feel like this is they're just taking it a step too far at this point. You know what I mean? Where I'm like, okay, guys, we get it. Toy Story has been very lucrative. You don't have to push out in every direction.
I had a super variety. Like, did you hear that they're gonna make like two lesbians kiss in the movie? And I was like, so? Like, I don't
understand. What movie?
Like, in Lightyear, movie, like a gay character or some shit. They were super mad. And I was like, dude, it's a movie. Like, there's gay characters, there's gay people. I don't know if you knew this. Like, there's like gay people out there now.
Why are you mad that they would be in a kids movie?
Right. But it's like, first off, this movie isn't for kids. I'm telling you that right now. Like, this movie is made for people that are our age or a little bit younger because they grew up with the Buzz Lightyear. Like, if you look at like the content of the movie, yes, it's animated, but it's animated in a different way. It's not like normal Pixar. And it like just the music, the whole trailer indicates that this isn't a kid. Like, I have a 5-year-old boy and a 7-year-old girl, and they're not like amped on this movie because it's geared towards people our age. Like, it literally is. Like, I don't.
Are you implying that you're amped on it then?
I'm not amped on it. I'm not. I love Disney stuff. I love Pixar stuff. But I think it'll just be an okay movie. I haven't been riveted by Disney or Pixar since Moana. Moana was the last movie. Coco and Moana were the last two movies where I was like, damn, these are dope movies.
I love Moana. It probably makes
just got a new TV, and my wife was like, oh, have you seen Moana? He's like, you should see Moana on this new television. And it's a whole different thing. Like the water, like it's one of the most beautiful movies ever. Like as far as Disney Pixar.
It is very, very good.
Amazing. And Coco, Coco's the same way for me. I think Coco's the best music in any Disney movie ever. And I think it's got a great story. I love that movie. But
what did you think of Encanto?
It was okay.
I haven't even watched it yet. Everybody, the girls have watched it. Danielle's watched it, but I haven't watched it.
I thought it was more of a traditional Disney movie and not Pixar. Like, it was the way they animated it was more traditional Disney stuff.
Gotcha.
And not like Pixar. And it also had a lot more music, like characters singing the music, which I like that. So all that stuff was really good. It's just like for me, like when Frozen 2 came out and like Into the Unknown, like that song, I was like, oh, this is a really good song.
Yeah.
Everybody was raving about the Encanto music, and I was like like Don't Mention Bruno song was okay. And I really like the song where the girl's like lifting stuff, the really strong girl, like that was okay.
I've
But the
heard that
rest of it was,
she's the best character in the movie, what I was told.
oh, the one that's really strong?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she's a good character in the movie. I think
haven't
the
watched
main
it, like I
character is
said.
the best character, but yeah. I
So
don't
Frozen 2,
it's good. It's not great.
I liked Frozen 2.
Yeah.
Music. Man, I think Frozen 1, when I really sit down and like try to put together the top 5 Disney movies, it's very hard.
A whole nother podcast, bro.
It's, and it's very hard. It's very hard to do.
That's a whole nother podcast.
There's
Me and Todd, when we were driving down to Disney, we were going on vacation. We were like, all right, top 5 Disney songs. It's like you could go songs, scenes, characters.
You can do entire soundtracks. I mean, everything, really.
Yeah.
I mean, there's probably, I don't know, 12 to 15 Disney movies that I have called my favorite at one point or another. You know what I mean?
I agree. Yeah.
Aladdin is really great. I think Aladdin's my number one if I'm really, really sitting down and doing
that's a whole other podcast. We'll do that. We'll do that next week. That's what we'll do next week for film is we'll talk about our favorite Disney films.
Okay.
That's up my alley.
So other movies that I'm a little bit excited for, but also a little bit worried. Avatar 2.
Yeah, I was just looking at that.
Man, I love Avatar. I really, really love Avatar. I liked it. I liked it when it was made the first time and it was called Fern Gully. I liked it. Like the whole story of Pocahontas.
Before that, when it was Dances with Wolves.
Yeah.
It's the same fucking movie.
Yeah. I love every version of that story that I've ever seen. And I think Avatar is the best version of that story. And it was so incredible in the theater. Todd, did you just say that you've never
amazing.
Todd, get on screen. Did you just say you've never seen Avatar in the theater? You didn't go see that.
He didn't. Yeah, he didn't get to see it in the theater. And then when they re-released it, I wanted to take him when they re-released it, and we didn't get to go then either. I can't even remember why.
Dude, I saw it in 3D, and it was the coolest 3D movie that I've seen. I've only seen a handful of movies in 3D. Most of them aren't done well.
It came out right around the same time that they made that Superman movie. And
the awful one with
the Superman Returns, with
so
the Kevin Smith one.
Everybody was like all about filming movies in 3D, and I didn't see Avatar, and everybody was like, "It's the greatest thing ever." And then I went and saw the Superman movie, and I decided I'll go see it in 3D. Worst decision I ever made. Like, dude, my eyes were like on fire.
Wait, who was Superman in that one? Brandon Routh.
Brandon Routh.
That's a bad movie.
It wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad.
The movie was okay. It was okay.
Not his fault. It wasn't his fault.
It definitely wasn't Brandon Routh's huge package's fault.
I was wondering if the bulge was going to get mentioned.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, it is.
I always think about
you got to make it smaller. Good for you, Brandon. Good for you. They had to digitally make your wang smaller. That's something to fucking be proud of, man. I would just have that on my IMDb. That would be my IMDb right there. It's like
right. Had to be digitally
smaller, right?
What's the digitally reduced?
Right. You know, ladies.
He was so funny in he was funny, but
Zach and Miri.
Justin Long was even funnier. But like those two in that movie cracked me right up.
I think Avatar 2 is gonna be okay. Listen, James Cameron doesn't miss.
You're right, he doesn't. But what I'm worried about is the fact that it's taken him like 9 years to make these two films, or 12 years.
Yeah, and I think that has a lot to do with because what you were saying there, the Avatar movies were so good 3D wise because they were made on the only 3D cameras at the time.
He invents technology
for 3D, right?
That's the thing is did he make anything between Titanic and Avatar? I can't even think of anything.
I don't think so. That would have to be a Todd.
I think he made Aquaman specifically for Entourage, and that was all that he had going on. Like the fictional Aquaman for the TV show Entourage.
Remember. I don't think
that was all James Cameron was doing. But yeah, he all the different, the unmanned submarines that they used for the real footage of Titanic and blending that into that was unheard of at the time when Titanic was made.
Man. The guy doesn't miss Aliens, Terminator 2.
Oh, he's got an unbelievable filmography. But what I'm saying is,
and that's why I don't worry about this movie.
from Titanic, I'm pretty sure Avatar 2 is his second film that he's made since Titanic.
No,
I think it's just been Titanic, Avatar, and Avatar 2.
Really?
I might be wrong about that. What are you looking it up, Todd?
Yeah, basically everything he does on his IMDb page, post Avatar, like from. So
it's all just producer credits, I would assume.
So he made a handful of movies. Like he made 2 movies prior to Terminator. One was a short that nobody's ever heard of. Then he directed Aliens.
Right.
Yep.
Then he did The Abyss in '89.
Yep. The Abyss is amazing too, dude.
Then he was just on fire. T2, True Lies, Titanic.
Forgot he did True Lies.
True Lies rocks.
Then he did a bunch of side Terminator stuff. Did a TV documentary. He's directed a handful of like 1 episodes or some other documentaries.
Right.
But other than that, there was nothing until Avatar. And then now he just filmed 2 and 3, and they're filming 4 and 5 right now for Avatar.
So all of his credits in between Titanic and Avatar are all producer and like characters created by and stuff like that, based off a story by James Cameron. And that's the thing. This dude spends years and years and millions of dollars developing technology to make these films, and of course, they can't miss. Like you said, it's not that he doesn't miss; it's that they literally they're like the too big to fail of movies. You know what I mean? Like they literally Hollywood cannot afford for these films to not succeed.
What is this? And it's in pre-production. Okay. I just read something on IMDb that I had not seen, and now I'm looking at it and I'm like, how is this going to work? Did Django and Zorro movie?
What?
In pre-production? Yeah. Yeah. Several years after the events of Django meets Don Diego de la Vega, the famed Zorro, and agrees to become his bodyguard on a mission to free the local Aboriginal population from slavery. They got a plot synopsis for this movie. I'm calling it a movie. It doesn't say any actors attached to it. Nothing. It's just. I
just checked Jamie Foxx's IMDb just to double check. I don't see it on his.
It's not on his. All right. Well then.
It's fine.
They have a poster. It's crazy.
That's a Wikipedia type movie. That's what that sounds like.
That does sound like
that sounds like fan fiction.
Like Baby Driver 2 and shit.
I really like Baby
too.
I really like Baby Driver.
All right. So what I'm excited about is I'm not a huge Doctor Strange fan, but I do like what they did with the multiverse stuff in Spider-Man. Like I thought the way they did Spider-Man, spoilers for anybody, when they brought the other 2 Spider-Man in, that was done like it's a good movie. It's not a film, it's a good movie. Turn your brain off. I really liked how they brought some of the old villains back and tried to give them like some kind of they tried to give them like a way to become good guys again. Redemption. Yeah. Thank you. Redemption is the word I was looking for. And I really like that about the Spider-Man movie. And I think this multiverse stuff is going to get kind of crazy. Like the only reason I watched the Loki series was because Todd was telling me that it deals with the multiverse stuff. And I watched that and I was like, so they're going to tie the Loki stuff, the multiverse stuff into the Doctor Strange. So, and I watched WandaVision too. And she apparently is a big part of this multiverse stuff with Doctor Strange.
Makes sense. Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm kind of excited about that one. And I Thor Ragnarok is still my favorite. I think Thor Love and Thunder should be good. I hope it's good. Wahidi doesn't make bad movies, so I can count on that. And then this weekend, I want to go see The Northman.
Yeah, we almost went and saw it today, actually. Danielle and I did. If we weren't recording today, we probably would have went and saw it, to be honest.
Dude, that looks good. The guy that directed that he's the next guy where I'm like, this guy doesn't miss either.
I swear to God, if Danielle was awake right now, I would have her come out here because I cannot shut up about him.
Yeah, like his films are amazing.
Dude, The Witch, Oh my God. And The Lighthouse, both.
The
So
Lighthouse.
good.
That's what put me on to Robert Pattinson was The Lighthouse. Well, the elephant, Water for Elephants, and then the
Right.
Lighthouse movie is like, okay, this guy's a beast actor.
Yeah.
But the direction on that film was awesome, and the editing too is amazing. Like what he does with sound and just little bits of dialogue. Like The Witch was crazy, dude. Like,
yeah,
I was super impressed with that movie, and like
so
I'm not
it's
into
such a
that kind of stuff.
and that's the thing. It's like if you just saw the poster for it or like the DVD case or something, you'd expect this, like in your face kind of scare movie. And it's
Right.
not. It's such a slow burn, mess with your head.
Right.
What's happening in the background type film. And dude, when Black Phillip, when that goat starts, it's like, oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. It's really good. The guy knows how to make films for sure.
He's like literally the same age as me too. Robert Eggers. He's like a week older than me or something, which is wild to think about. I mean, I don't feel like
we should go see that, and then we could do like a little mini review on that one. I'm gonna go see it. Like I'm either gonna see it this weekend or I'll probably see it before we pod. So
I don't have another day off this week, so. We were, like I said, we were going to go see it today. We'll still go see it at some point. I mean, I'll find time.
Well, let me know, and then we'll talk about it because I think
I don't have like
not like Skarsgård,
a Batinay like I did with Batman, making that Batinay pun. I don't have one for the Northman, but
nah,
I can
just gonna go.
Try to go see it. Yeah. Oh, and I love Alexander Skarsgård.
Yeah, dude's a beast.
He was great on True Blood. He was like the only thing that I really liked.
Only thing that was good about True Blood. The only thing.
The first 2 seasons of that show, I was like, okay, this is really not that great, but I'm still going to keep watching it because occasionally Anna Paquin's hot and, like.
You get to see her titties.
Right. And then all of a sudden, Eric becomes a great character, and it's like, oh, okay, now I'm in. And I stuck around way too long into that show because of Eric Northman.
So the pop culture for the week is this.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking about. And we'll be quick about this because it shouldn't take too long. Just give a short reason why for each person, and then tell yourself. Both Caleb and I both golf, so I was thinking about who would be my all-time, like if I could bring back from the dead, only people that have died. If only people that have died, bring back from the dead 3 people to golf 18 rounds with, or 18 holes with, 1 round. And just talk to them and just hang out and just, who are those 3 guys? Like, who's your foursome going to be if you could resurrect any 3 people that have ever lived? Who's your foursome? You go ahead. You go first.
So, 1 is a more recent. Well, actually, 2 are more recent deaths, but 1 is somebody that I remember hearing that he golfed. And I always wondered if he was actually good at it or if he was just, it was something that he wanted to do to try to be more like Jordan than he was already trying to be. And that would be Kobe Bryant.
Kobe? Okay.
Like, I remember seeing like a photo in Sports Illustrated back in the day of Kobe golfing, and he had like the backwards Sam Jackson Kangol hat, but it was like Adidas, and he had the whole Adidas gear on. And I was like, all right, Kobe looks the part. I wonder if he can really golf. Plus, I just think it would be cool to talk to Kobe for 18 holes because he always seemed like an interesting dude.
Right, because they die right after. As soon as you sink that putt on the 18th, they're back to being dead. So
that's wild. So the other one is a somewhat recent death, but a golf personality, not a professional golfer, but Pete Dye, like all time famous, course designer. Because I'm super fascinated by golf course design anyway. It's not something that I ever really considered like doing or anything like that, but I'm always looking at like layouts when I'm playing. I'm always wondering like, man, how did they think about positioning this hole this way? And I think it'd be cool to pick his brain, playing around. And then the third one, and this is a kind of generic pick, but I wanted to go with a president. And the last president that I feel like I would want to actually have a chat with that I know golfed also is Kennedy.
Yeah.
I think you throw JFK, Kobe, and Pete Dye and me out there.
That's an interesting group.
Yeah.
That's an interesting group because you could talk about sports with Kobe. You could talk about the design of the golf thing with it. Yeah, and then you got JFK.
And then JFK, I just want to ask him a bunch of questions. Also,
the whole time is just JFK, just like smell my fingers. That's Marilyn Monroe, bud.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like that was part of what went into it too, because I was like, who would have some stories? Like Milton Berle crossed my mind too, and I don't know if he was a golfer or not, but damn, I'd love to just talk to Milton Berle and be like, are any of these stories about you true? You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
Oh, Todd, that's cold.
I can't see the comments because I don't want to. The last time I touched one of these things on the right, it kicked me out, so I don't want to do that again. So
you don't want to read that comment from Todd whatsoever.
Okay, I will. Wait.
Yeah.
All right. So my three are and what's crazy was I was watching a TikTok and I was like, holy shit, this person brought up one of my favorite people of all time, one of my favorite actors. And it was my old man's favorite actor too. And I was like, he was doing interviews, and it was with my first guy would be Leslie Nielsen. Leslie Nielsen did a bunch of videos, or not a bunch, but a couple of videos called like Golfing with Leslie, or I can't remember what it was, but like he would do like he called the Verdant grip and he said when you're in the sand you put the ball in your hand and then you throw it onto the green, like all this dumb shit. But I was like with the Naked Gun movies were some of my favorite as a kid, and Leslie, like comedy wise, I think he's my goat. Like,
oh yeah,
for like comedy on television and TV, like I always
he's right there with Jim Carrey for me.
Everything he did was funny.
And Jim Carrey are the two that I always come down to as far as actors.
Their facial expressions, and then like to watch him in interviews. So that sent me down a rabbit hole of watching him in interviews, and I was like, this guy would have just been the fucking tits to hang out with.
Yeah,
like just awesome. Like he carried a little fart box. Like if you go back and watch, like he's on Conan O'Brien and he's like doing the fart like jokes, and like on Conan O'Brien, like just farting and shit. It's just like
he's like 70 years old.
Yeah, he's like 70 years old. He's like, I take this with me everywhere. Like Conan's just like, dude, what are you doing? Like, so good. And then we talked about this before. My all-time favorite stand-up comic, because I'd want to hear stories from him, and that would be Rodney Dangerfield. And plus, he was in Caddyshack, so I figured he could bring the cool clubs with him. And
so, I thought about Caddyshack. I was like, I wish Drama would wait to ask this question until Chevy Chase dies,
right?
Or Bill Murray. Like either one of them, I'd love to just golf 18 with. But.
And then my last one, and I felt like it was generic too because it's not a celebrity, but because my old man has passed, and his Leslie Nielsen was his guy, Rodney was his guy, I would have, because I'd want to talk to my old man too. So, and he's passed, and I think I would stick my old man in the golf cart with Leslie Nielsen, and I would ride with Rodney, because that would just make my dad's day. Like he would just fucking lose it. So it would be the four of us out there, and I'm sure we wouldn't get any golfing done. It would just be us like bullshitting.
That's what I was gonna say when you said they die after the last person sinks the putt on 18.
Right.
In my head, I was like, damn, I'd go out and try to shoot about a 220. You know,
right?
I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly. I gotta find this one.
Yeah, sorry guys. Let's go look for this one over here under this tree in the shade. Let's both
just hang out.
Yeah.
Hey, go ahead, play through, guys.
Right.
Play through. Tee off at about 8, pull in about 6. It'd be awesome.
That's I've thought that, like I've played that, who would be my dream foursome.
Right.
But always with people that are alive. I've never really thought about doing it with
that's what I thought about. I was like, man,
it
would be cool to like just guys that are gone. Because you could do the live one. My live version would be a lot different than the ones that have passed. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. I always thought that was interesting. What about you, Todd? Just real quick.
I didn't even think about it, but
off the top of your head, boom, 3 guys
dead,
shot out of a cannon.
Yep.
Oh man.
Here, real quick, while you're thinking about it, I'll show my Parks Brothers glass for the week.
Nice.
This is their Cheers to 1 year. It's got the elements from every glass they did for the first year.
Oh, they got a Desmond Howard one.
That's cool.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's your boy.
Oh,
Is
Squid
that Charlie
Game,
Day as
Freddy
the
Krueger.
Day Man?
It is.
That's awesome.
You see,
did you
Undertaker.
say who are your three? Who were your three again,
Mine
John?
were Leslie Nielsen, Rodney Dangerfield, and my old man.
Happy Gilmore.
Dangerfield would be up there for me, just because of how much I love stand up.
Right.
But like since you said him, like maybe Carlin. If Carlin was a golfer, I think I'd
Right.
enjoy hanging out with
Not
him.
even
Like,
if he's a golfer, just to hang out and talk to
I
him.
I love Carlin. I
Yeah.
think he changed stand up comedy. I think Babe Ruth would be fun.
The Babe.
I
Yeah,
think
that's
he
a
would
good
be a
one.
fun dude to golf with. Like he seemed like a fun dude. Like
Right.
just he'd be
Just
enjoyable.
Smoking
Get to hear a
cigars,
lot.
drinking beers. Yeah.
Third one.
Just go with
Man.
Arnold Palmer.
AP. AP. It's just some
There was
AP.
a guy when I lived.
Probably somebody like it's like Arnold Palmer. That would be a good one. Like somebody that actually did golf would be enjoyable. I think if I sat and thought about it,
I gotta think about that too.
I think if I sat and thought about it, it probably wouldn't be anybody. It'd be different than all three of them.
Right.
Carlin would probably make it just because he's the first
I
stand-up
wonder-
I ever saved my money up to go see.
I wonder if he was a golfer.
I
never
doubt
heard
it,
of him.
man.
I know Leslie Nielsen was a pretty good handicap. Like he was a pretty low handicap. Like he
That's
golfed.
he seemed he seems like exactly that kind of dude.
Yeah, he was a golfing guy.
You might as well. When you said when Bill Murray died, like, dude, he's about to get canceled. If you saw that stuff today, canceled.
I heard
There's
about it.
some
I haven't,
dumb stuff.
I haven't looked into.
They're trying to
it
get. They're about
yet.
to try to cancel Bill Murray, bro.
They're coming for
They're
Bill.
gonna make an effort at it.
We'll talk about this next week.
71 years
coming.
old. They're gonna go after Bill.
They're coming for him.
sucks.
Well, he's
No.
younger now than Cosby was when all that went down.
So we also had another idea. This is for the fans. We're gonna do a segment at the end of every show where we ask a quick question. You know, would you rather? It's like a would you rather type question. Would you rather have a tail or gills? And then we answer quickly, and then we're out. So we need two things. We need suggestions for next week's, because we would always like suggestions in the comments for what we'd like to do for next week's. Also, we need a name for the segment.
Yeah,
Like Caleb came up with like the ender. Don't know what that means, but
that's an old skateboard reference.
right.
You gotta
But-
have your ender for your clip.
We need an idea for a name for the ending segment for the pod. So if you guys could help us out with that, we would appreciate it. It'd be really nice to contribute something, and we'll shout out whoever comes up with the best idea, and we put it on the show. We'll give them a shout out.
Absolutely get a shout
That'd be
out.
awesome.
But I think for this week, Todd was supposed to come up with one.
Did
Let's
you
see
come
if
up
he
with
did.
one?
I gotta come up with one, but I gotta think of one.
All right.
All right.
No, let's do the one you just said. Have we done tail?
We did Tails or Gill.
Yeah, we
already.
did tails and gills. We already did tails and gills.
We did.
All right. Would you
Oh no.
watch
no.
this?
Oh
No,
no.
start
Would you
over.
rather? Would you rather have
Wait.
no internet connection or the
John knows
worst
what this
internet
question is.
connection?
Caleb, can you hear me now?
Now we got
Now
you.
we can. Yeah.
All right.
You are
Cool.
no
Would you
longer
rather have a robot
Me, I
voice?
never lost
You are
connection.
no longer a sex robot.
Would you rather have a robot voice or no voice
So-
whatsoever?
Caleb hasn't heard this question, but John has.
Oh.
You have to choose.
Oh God.
You either can keep the Star Wars franchise or Lord of the Rings.
Oh
If you whichever one you pick, the other one never exists. You
Never
don't get to
existed
watch
at
the
all?
Movies, the books, nothing.
And it can't exist in the future. Like we can't.
Nope, it's dunzo.
I can't like yesterday. And since the
Nope.
Beatles didn't exist, I write all the Beatles songs. Like I couldn't.
No.
Because man, I'd get real rich off of whichever one I don't
Right.
choose. God, I think I have to pick Star Wars just because of the.
Right.
It's so much more expansive. Like I
Yes,
love Lord
that's
of the
correct
Rings.
answer.
I love Lord of the Rings, and I read the books when I was a kid, and I loved the movies. I saw them all in the theater. Even the Hobbit movies are okay, and like Star Wars.
All
is
you need. Just gotta say the answer. That's it.
Star Wars is just bigger and better. I mean,
Yep.
I gotta go with Star Wars.
I'm going Star Wars too.
All right.
And we out.
All right. See you next time.